own path. But given opportunity, I would want to look at a very disturbing, for me, it's a very disturbing, um, what do you call, conversation all over the place. In fact, after the pronouncement from the High Court, I mean the Court of Appeal, over the last couple of days, where the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged the former Maslock CEO, the Honorable Sedina Tamakloe Ationo. There's been a whole lot of conversation, rants. Uh, I must say, some people go to the extent of even calling out the court, which is fine. You can disagree with every ruling that comes from the court, but to the extent that we would want to attack and, so to speak, make it look as though the justices of these courts that we have entrusted, I mean, justice delivery in, are all over the place doing the bidding of a certain political party or a certain government. I find that very, very distasteful and very appalling, to say the least. Where and political actors, people, I think should know better. People, I think, should appreciate and have a grasp of what, the law is, are all over the place pretending. And that's the difficulty for me, pretending not to appreciate what is happening around them in the area of the judicial system of this country. What is it really? Now, there's a case, and you know the stories already surrounding this Sedina Tamakloe, the Republic versus Sedina Tamakloe issue. You know it already. I mean, you have the details. Most of you have read, but for the purposes of those who have not or are not abreast really with some of the happenings till date, there's this: a government loses power, a new government comes in and finds some infractions, about 8 to 10 different accusations or infractions, so to speak. And I'm saying so because of what the charge sheet, or what the statements of offenses that were put before the court at the time revealed. And so you have listed about 8 to 10 offenses against an individual. In fact, two: the operational director or director of operations, and then the CEO of Maslock at the time, were put before the court, and over 78 counts, 78, I must say, counts were put before the court on these two personalities. And for whatever reason that it is, one of them, which is Madam Sedina Tamakloe, sought the leave of court to go for some medical consider review or what have you, and decided, whether was she elected not to come back or not, I do not know, but we heard that she was unable to come back, and then the court had to, the proceedings had to proceed, go on with in absentia. And so, fast forward, everything is done and dusted. The High Court convicted her, 10 years imprisonment with hard labor and what have you. And she then enters appearance. She sought a review or an appeal, which is also mandated, which is also her right to do so. And then it goes on and on and on and on. All of these things happened in the ex-wild regime under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So, the happenings of today cannot be solely linked to just this government. It cannot be so. And so, if something happened previously, and because government is continuous, and a government comes in and continues, and the matter ends in a way you disagree with, my problem really, I don't have a problem with those who disagree with the judgment from the Court of Appeal. My problem really is about how we are bastardizing and attacking our judicial system. Well, I ask the question, at the end of the day, if we succeed in doing this to our judicial system and to a larger extent our judges, what then will be made of the system that we are operating as a nation? And a nation where judicial systems and a platform where people can, freely go for to seek refuge for justice delivery and what have you, and we attack it and bastardize it and bring it to its knees, what then becomes of the future of this country? That's what I'm asking. That is the big question for me this morning, that if we continue bastardizing this judicial system and calling out and calling all sorts of names, using all sorts of words and descriptions on some of our judges and the judicial system, what then becomes of the judicial system? And indeed, that is the only place we can go seek for proper justice and fairness when it comes to issues that you do not appreciate as a human being, or things that civil wrongs or what have you that have been done against you, and you want to seek refuge. If we bring it to its knees, what then becomes of us as a people? And so my call this morning is for you, is for every Ghanaian to ensure that, regardless of your political coloring, regardless of what you believe in, please and please again, let us not extend some of these bias thoughts or appreciation of certain things into the judicial system. If you disagree with the judge, the constitution and the rules of court gives you opportunity to go further, to seek for further interpretation or further explanation or what have you. For example, when Madam Sedina Tamakloe felt that she had not done anything, or she was properly or was improperly incarcerated and what have you, she did not rest on her horse. She decided to take the matter to a higher court, which is her right anyway to do so. And so she and her legal team decided to go to the court of appeal, and today here we are. The high court judge that sat on the matter thought that she had done some wrong, and she, based on the facts before her, and she has to go to jail to serve the punishment for what she has done to the country. Now, three-member panel in the court of appeal thinks that no, there were some errors that were seen or that were done against the Honorable Sedina Tamakloe in that judgment from the High Court, and so decided to overturn the judgment at the High Court. So be it. I don't know why we would want to now call all sorts of names or mention all sorts of things on radio just in a way to score some political point or bastardize the judiciary and the judges that did the case or sat on the matter. And interestingly, the rant and the talks and everything does not even go anywhere if we decide not to do the right things by using the same judicial systems to seek for another opinion or interpretation or another view of what we think has been done wrong. And so that is why I am so appreciative of the Attorney General's department led by Dr. Ayene, that he also thinks that he would have to fight this at the Supreme Court to see if the Supreme Court would have a different opinion from what the Court of Appeal has now put out. And so this is how a civilized nation behaves. This is how a nation that knows its purpose behaves. You don't just go all over the place and go on radio and TV just because you have a microphone. And I hear some colleague presenters and colleague broadcasters sit on radio and say all sorts of things about. I am not here to do that. I am here to call out anybody who would want to use any thinking that you use a shortcut, and the shortcut you think is sitting on radio and TV to insult, to abuse, and to call out and I mean abuse the judicial system. It is going nowhere. It is of no effect. I'm not sure the judges themselves, they listen to this radio and TVs, and so in the bosom of the judge, they have interpreted the law to be what it is now. If you disagree, that is fine, but use the same correct channel to ensure that the justice is delivered to those that you think that you are fighting for. And so it's important that we bring this matter to the fore for you to consider and appreciate that. Don't be too swayed by politicians. As for politicians and the things they do, you can always not predict them, because in just about 2 or 3 years, a similar conversation and a similar situation when was happening, and people had problems with it and were also using the same route in complaining and calling out the judicial system and what have you. Those complaining today thought that it was right and that you cannot bastardize the judicial system. Today, what has changed? And that's the difficulty, and that's a challenge that we all need to ensure that the hypocrisy of some of the individuals in this country would have to brought to the fore, to name and shame and call out some of these people who would want to make the system very unpleasant for all of us. I mean, for somebody like myself and Kwame and all other colleagues here, we are just interested in the system's working. That is all we seek for. And that's what we want to encourage everyone listening to us this morning to do. If you disagree with the court ruling, go seek further interpretation elsewhere using the same court systems that has been made or that has been provided by the Constitution, which is a right that we always have to enjoy. So I would want to end here and also give you the opportunity to call in and share your views and thoughts on this particular matter. But then again, let me add this matter, which is also the second issue that I'd want to look at. I want to commend the Ministry of Health for instituting a committee, 11-member committee, to look into the matter of Tamakloe nursing training and the police brutalities. It is so very, 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 very unfair, I must say. We saw videos of policemen, brutalizing and beating and arresting people. There's no problem when people commit some crimes according to your interpretation as a law enforcement agency, and you want to crack the whip. There's no problem with that. You can arrest. But some videos where we saw beatings, caning, chasing of people here and there, I don't think that I personally do not subscribe to that. And in as much as I do not subscribe to that particular scenes that we saw on our screens, it's also important that we advise that the general public is well aware or becomes aware of the fact that you cannot also, if you have any disagreement with government policy or institutional direction or policy or agency direction or policy, it is not also for you to just jump onto the street and be causing public disorder, destroying public property and what have you. I am not saying that is what the nurses did, no, but I'm saying that if you want to demonstrate or show disaffection for any government policy or institutional direction or what have you, there is a way to go about it. Today we have mentioned on this show that the new patriotic party seeking to churn out a displeasure over an issue have sought relief or have sought to engage the Ghana police. The Ghana police, as we've also heard, have also given their blessing to the demonstration to happen on Thursday. This is what any civilized society is supposed to behave. And so if you are a student or a group of students and you have a problem with your proprietor or your principal, and his directions or her directions does not sit well with you, it doesn't mean that you should just hit the street of Techiman and be all over the place trying to create unnecessary tension and confusion and what have you. At least, if not for anything at all, there was an act, according to the police, was a creation of public disorder, for which reason they had to come after you. Yes, the excesses we have condemned, and I'm condemning once again that the excesses of beating students up, I mean, hitting them with whatever that you had in your hands and stuff like that, was not the best way to go. Maybe you can identify one or two students, arrest them, and I'm sure that the matter would have been brought to a closure, and settled as well. You understand the point? And so we want to encourage that, in as much as we appreciate the work of you, Ghana Police, in ensuring that there's always peace and order, there's security, and everything is in place for the safety of others who are also citizens of this country. We want to encourage you, want to emphasize the point that there's no point in attacking or maiming or beating or causing unfair disadvantage to citizens when they decide to go, they elect to go at the wrong side of the law. Because this is an election, because somebody would have advised that you will go through the proper route of writing to the police and seeking audience with them for us to demonstrate and whatever. Since that was not done, I think that it wasn't also proper in that regard. And so it's a two-way thing. The demonstrator would have to do what is right by law, and then the security person who is supposed to be providing security for you would also want to adhere to the provisions of the statutes and the constitution that mandates them to do what they have to do, to ensure that people freely express their misgivings and their dissatisfaction on issues that are troubling to them, or they are not excited about. And so we welcome this very important committee. I'm told that 11th August is the deadline for them to bring their findings on what came up and what the decision would, on what brought about the confusion at the Techiman Krobo Nursing Training College, vis-a-vis the problems with them, and then the Ghana Police Service. And so we'll be looking out for the recommendations and the real details, or the issues that brought up this challenge, and we'll take it out from there. I am excited because the ministry has not slept over the happening. The ministry has decided to open that conversation up so that we put finality, and it also helps us to be able to plan or strategize moving forward into student police